The FMDQ exchange is getting two major listings today, July the 28th, 2022. Federal government of Nigeria, through the Debt Management Office, is listing 8.375%, $1.25 billion March 2029 Euro bonds. Also listing a 250 billion naira 10-year, 13% Ijara Sukuk bond due 2031 of the federal government of Nigeria's Roads Sukuk Company PLC. Joining us to discuss further is the Director General of the Debt Management Office, Patience Oniha. Good morning. Thank you so much for joining us. Can you talk to us about the significance of these two bond listings, I guess, in terms of liquidity or other measures?
Okay. Thank you very much. I think first let me say what we're listing are probably three transactions. So there's the $4 billion Eurobond of September last year, and the 1.25 in March, which you made reference to, and then the Sukuk. Listing them in the domestic markets have a significant advantage. Looking at the investor side, really, it is to provide liquidity. So persons who invested in the Sukuk, obviously, most of these are institutional investors, would like to trade it. We also need to have pricing, okay, so that people can also record them in their books. So it just gives room for liquidity and transparency, price discovery. It speaks again to one of the unique features about FGN securities. We say they're liquid. So you can buy now, doesn't matter the tenor. If you need to sell later, you can. And if you didn't buy at issue, you can always, access the security. So that's the significant aspect for investors. For the macro, listing the securities on the two exchanges we have in Nigeria helps to boost the level of activities overall and the size of the two exchanges, which are significant when a country is being assessed and being reviewed. Those, I would say, are the major benefits.
Fantastic. What does the Sukuk bond mean for infrastructure in Nigeria?
A lot, and probably difficult to do it in one short space. But I'm sure you know that one of the challenges we have in Nigeria is infrastructure, whether you're looking at power or roads or rail. Okay, so what the Sukuk has done, as you know, we've issued about 612 billion to date, but what we're listing is the last one, which was issued in September. These are project tied, okay, and in each of the four cases, we have invested them in roads and bridges, and they have transformed the environments in which they are. They have created employment because contractors went back to work knowing that they would be paid, and some who had abandoned projects started working really fast because it had shown that once you do your job, you get paid. So there was an employment. And then the business that you typically find around a construction site, small businesses selling stuff, that took off as well. But on a macro level, you know that when you invest in infrastructure, it not only improves the quality of life, but it makes your country more attractive for investors, whether they're domestic or external investors. And that way, overall, your gross domestic product should grow. Okay, so the impacts of the Sukuk and infrastructure is significant. And we like the part of it where, it is shown. So there are signages. It tells the public whom we serve that these funds, these were what they were used for. So it's extremely significant, and we hope that we can raise a lot more so that the impact on infrastructure will be much higher.
Fantastic. Thank you. And I've personally driven on some of the roads that has the sign says this was funded by Sukuk bonds. So we've actually can testify to that. The U.S. Federal Reserve, I want to talk about Euro bonds and international capital markets. We just talked about this in our first segment. Just yesterday, U.S. has raised rates again. The federal funds rate, another 75 basis points. Will Nigeria be approaching the international capital markets or staying away because of rising borrowing costs?
The responses to that are two. First of all, is to say, for you to be planning to go to the market. So you're right, we do have an external borrowing component in the 2022 budget. But the reality is for you to access, say you're going to the international markets, the markets have to be open, particularly to countries like yourselves, like Nigeria. You know that the market has, I would say since September, but it then worsened with the Russia-Ukraine invasion. So markets have been relatively unstable. Investors are on flight to safety, just around the uncertainties around the environment.
General of the Debt Management Office, Patience Oniha, saying that borrowing costs are indeed a bit on the high side, and so perhaps there will be a pause when it comes to tapping the international capital markets, as we just heard, because, of course, the United States has raised rates for the second time to try to tame inflation, which will attract capital back into developed markets like the United States and then, drive up borrowing costs for nations like Nigeria that are looking to tap Eurobond markets in order to plug their respective deficits.